questions here and try to answer them and see whether you're still in the same page. Yes, Triumph, you're back. Yes, Triumph is with us now. He had come very early and he found that it was a class 6 lesson and disappeared, but now he is back. So we have our science lesson today. And I want us to try and answer some few questions, and we shall be very, very fast. And I want to unmute all of you, but make sure you don't make noise. Again, if there's someone who is near you who is making noise, make sure you chase them very, very far away. Tell them to go away. Can I hear everyone say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So we are looking at some questions here. And the first question, which of the following animals does not have mammary glands? Which of the following animals does not have mammary glands?
The thick one.
Yes, we are answering.
Shark.
Why the shark?
It's a fish.
Very good. It's a fish. Which animals have mammary glands?
Mammals.
Mammals. What do you classify a whale?
Hello?
Yes, a whale is a
Mammal.
sea mammal. What about a bat?
Mammal. Flying mammal.
Flying mammal. A spiny anteater?
A laying mammal.
An egg-laying mammal. Triumph. Which is the other egg-laying mammal?
Duck-billed platypus.
Wow, that's nice. A duck-billed platypus. We have number 2 there. The function of fiber in the diet is to help in yes. Somebody is giving us an answer. Yes, Chantel. Chantel.
Yes.
What is the function of fiber in the diet?
Help in digestion of food.
Chantel, I'll pluck your ears through the computer. We say that fiber is also known as roughage. The main source of fiber in the diet is vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. And the main function of fiber in the diet is to get rid of indigested food. It helps in digestion, helps in emptying the bowels, helps in movement of food through the alimentary canal. That's the main function of fiber. Fiber does not help in digestion. And I want everyone to get that one right, that fiber does not help in digestion. We have number 3. During a science practical lesson, pupils collected the following materials: a glass bottle, ink, water, source of heat, a narrow transparent tube. The aspect of it they were most likely to investigate was
Construction of air.
yes. They have a glass bottle, they have ink, they have water, they have a source of heat, and a narrow transparent tube.
A.
What is A?
Expansion in liquids.
So this is what they were most likely to set up. Huh? They were supposed to set up this. So they have the ink bottle. Here is our ink bottle. They have the water and the ink. So inside here, they have to put some colored water. So they have colored water. This is the ink bottle. Then what else do they have? They have a narrow transparent tube. A narrow transparent tube. And of course, here they will put an airtight cork. So there's a tube, it is transparent. And then the source of heat, they will heat this water from the bottom. That is the heat. When this colored water is heated, it will expand. And once it expands, it will rise through the tube. It will rise up through the tube. and that will indicate expansion in liquids, expansion in liquids. We are at question number 4. Here's our question number 4. Reads, which of the following is not a sign of ill health in plants? Is not a sign of ill health in plants. And I want this question answered by Anthony Kinoti. Which is not a sign of ill health in plants?
Which one is not a sign?
Yeah.
Wilting. Curled leaves.
Why?
The leaves curl.
Huh?
Because the leaves are
Yes, let me help you, Kinoti. The curled leaves are also folded leaves. When the leaves are curled, it shows that there's something that is lacking, maybe water. But look at choice A, reduced yields. Reduced yields is not a sign. It is an effect. Remember when you're looking at the signs and the effects, we talked of the signs. We say the signs include stunted growth, curled leaves, wilting. We also talked about spots and streaks. We talked about malformations and distortions. We talked about discoloration. But when it came to the effects, we talked about reduced yields. We talked about reduced yields. I can see Dimken somewhere. Dimken, we are through with the maths lesson. We are now in science class 8. Maybe you want to learn something in class 8? You're welcome. Jude, karibu sana. We can see you somewhere. And Mark Magawi. So we said, I repeat, that reduced yields is an effect. It's not a sign. It's an effect. Let me go back once again to the signs and the effects maybe. And I want to read them through them very, very fast. The signs of unhealthy crops. If you remember very well, the signs of unhealthy crops, and I hope you can see them from my primary science. I have it here with me. The signs of unhealthy crops, they include stunted growth, that is growing at a slower rate, discolorations on leaves and stems, they change color, curled leaves, folded leaves, wilting, spots and streaks, distortions and malformations. Then we have the effects. When we come to the effects, in the effects, we have crop pests and diseases may cause extreme damage to crops on the farm and the farm produce. Disease infection leads to reduced yields and production of low quality produce. So reduced yields and low quality produce are effects. They are not signs, but effects. Hope you are together, everyone. We go to the next question. We have question number 5. Here we go. Question number 5 says, the following are immunizable diseases. Which one is not? The following are immunizable diseases. Which one is not? Yes, Owen Saina. Yes. Which one is not immunizable? We have tuberculosis, malaria, poliomyelitis, and tetanus.
Which one is not immunizable?
Yes?
Malaria.
Yes, malaria is not immunizable. We remind ourselves the immunizable diseases. We remind ourselves the immunizable diseases. Yes, I want to hear the immunizable diseases, and I want to get them from Mark Magawi. Mark Magawi, I want you to give us 3 immunizable diseases.
tuberculosis,
tuberculosis.
tetanus,
Magavi is looking at what we have. Yes, tetanus.
and yellow
And yellow sugar.
measles.
And measles. So let's see them. I want us to indicate them, all of them down, and see these immunizable diseases. So I'll be very, very fast. So be together with me. We go. I'll start with the immunization schedule. Disease number 1. Hope you're moving together. Disease number 1 is at birth. At birth, one baby is immunized against tuberculosis and polio. That is at birth, tuberculosis and polio. We have at 6 weeks, we have the DPT, meaning diphtheria, pertussis, which is also whooping cough, and tetanus. We also have the OPV2, which is a polio vaccine. At 10 weeks, we have DPT2 and OPV3 for the same diseases. At 14 weeks, we have DPT3 and OPV4. And then you have got 9 months. At 9 months, we have yellow fever and the measles vaccine. Other immunizable diseases, we talked of typhoid, which is a vaccine which takes is given for 6 months. We have got cholera, only given in case of an outbreak. We have a vaccine against flu, and we have a vaccine against hepatitis B. Remember the mnemonic that you used in class 7, class 6? Make sure you get all those diseases. You have tuberculosis, polio, diphtheria, pertussis, also known as whooping cough. Whooping cough. We have tetanus. We have yellow fever. We have measles, typhoid, cholera, flu, and hepatitis B. Those are the immunizable diseases. I want us to go to our next question. Our next question is on a wind vane. Our next question is on a wind vane. Yes. When the arrowhead of a wind vane points to the south, it shows that the wind is blowing from, yes, Aaron's iPad. Yes. We are waiting for your answer, Adrian.
North.
Yes, because we talk of, just wait. What have you said? Yes, Adrian.
North.
We talk of afro tattoo, arrow from, tail to, arrow from. Arrow of the wind vane points to the south. So arrow from the south, arrow from. The arrow of a wind vane points where the wind is blowing from. So what's your answer, Adrian?
North. No,
Why
south.
is it still north? Yes?
South.
Yes, it's south because arrow from the south. The arrow is pointing to the south, so the wind is blowing from the south. We skip question number 7 for reasons best known to the teacher. We go to question number 8. Question number 8 says, which of the following pairs consists of parts of the human digestive system where absorption takes place? Abdomalic. Is it the ileum and the liver, stomach and mouth, colon and ileum, duodenum and liver? Yes, Abdomalic. And there's no running away. Abdomalic seems to have disappeared. So let's get the answer from Henry Waigua. Yes, Henry?
That's consistent.
Yes,
Uh,
Hawa. Let's get it from Hawa.
Stomach
Or someone is giving us an answer.
and mouth.
And you know, we ought to be very serious when
Stomach
giving
and
these
mouth.
answers, because we are talking of something that happens in our bodies. The process of digestion. Where does it start? How does it go? That's supposed to be with you, because even right now, I know before you came there, you chewed something. In the mouth, you chewed, you rolled it into boluses, and you swallowed. So in the mouth, digestion of starch. Then went to the stomach, digestion of proteins. Duodenum, there was also digestion of fats. Then in the small intestines, where absorption of food takes place. Colon, absorption of water. There are only two places where absorption takes place, and that is the colon and the ileum. Ileum, absorption of digested food. Colon, absorption of water and mineral salts. We are dealing with question number 9. It's our last question. And it says, when dealing with electricity, the following activities can cause shock, except to get a shock is to be electrocuted. Let's see. Touching switches with wet hands. Can it give you a shock? Overloading sockets. Can it give you a shock?
Yes.
Repairing appliances plugged in sockets.
Huh?
Can it give you a shock? Touching naked wires. So which is your answer? Let's get the answer from Octavian Weta. Yes, Weta? Some of us seem to be disappearing.
Okay. Repairing appliance
Yes, your voice seems to be disappearing.
and plugs in sockets.
Yes. If you repair an appliance when it is still plugged in the socket,
Repairing appliance when plugged in sockets. Repairing appliance.
something is wrong with the sound from your gadget. Try to rectify it, Weta. Yes, let's get the answer from let me see who has been so quiet. I can see Alvin Ngatia is with us. Alvin Ngatia. Yes, Alvin. What's your answer? Ngatia also seems to have disappeared to somewhere. Yes, let's get the answer from Chelsea. Chelsea has also disappeared. Triumph.
Repairing appliances when plugged in sockets.
Triumph, are you sure of that?
Yes.
If you try to do that, my friend, we'll just get you there where you are repairing, having been shocked seriously. The answer to that question should be, yes, let's get from somebody who has not said something. Who is that? Somebody is using Philip's iPhone. Who could that be?
Alvin.
Yes?
Alvin.
That's Alvin.
Yes.
Alvin who?
Dirangu.
Oh, Dirangu. Yes,
Yes.
Alvin Dirangu. What's your answer to that question? Which one will not cause a shock?
Over touching switches with wet hands.
Hey, Dirangu, are you joking?
VD.
Have you ever tried that? Would you like to try it? Huh? Would you like to try to touch a switch with wet hands?
Maybe.
You'd like to try?
Maybe.
Only if you don't fear death. So our answer to that question is overloading sockets. When you overload a socket, the only thing that can happen to the socket is that it will burn, but it cannot shock you.
Oh.
That's the answer to that question. But touching switches with wet hands, repairing appliances when plugged in sockets, touching naked wires, those are so much dangerous activities that you can undertake.
Oh.
Sawa sawa?
Yes.
Very good. Now, today I want us to continue from where we left last time. For those who were with last time, you remember that we looked at air pollution. Today I want us to see how we control air pollution. But to know how to control air pollution, you must also remember how it is produced. And remember I said that when you're looking at some of these things like pollution, do not start thinking about countries like Rwanda. Do not start thinking about Ushago. Don't think about India. Think about your immediate environment. Anything that pollutes the air is an irritant to your body through the nose. So when you're talking about this air pollution, the causes of this air pollution, look at the things that irritate your nose. For instance, I say that when you enter into a smoky house, you find that the first thing you will sneeze. Why will you sneeze? It's because the smoke is an irritant. If those who travel up country, although I know some of us, they don't go up country because they fear mud and matopes. But for those who go up country, during the season when the maize is flowering, there is that pollen grain, the powder that comes from the maize is pollen grains from the tassel. If it gets into your nose, you get a cold. You sneeze. It's allergic. So if it gets into your nose, it is an irritant. So pollen grains are also an irritant. The same to dust and the like. So causes of air pollution. And I want us to remind ourselves by looking at something little that we looked at last time. And I want you to remind yourselves something little here. Yes, just to remind ourselves the causes of air pollution. Does it take long to open? So just as we remind ourselves, one of the major causes is when you are traveling, if there is a vehicle that is ahead of you and then it produces some dust, the first thing is that you must cover your nose, cover your face, and cover everything so that you don't inhale the dust. So that means that dust is a pollutant. So other ways in which pollution is caused, let me see someone who can remind me one. Someone who can remind me one of the ways, the causes of air pollution. Let me remind you the first one. And it is one of the most common that happens around us every time. Tobacco smoking. There are those people who smoke tobacco. These are known as active smokers. If you sit near a smoker, you are also a smoker. Not by virtue of that you want to smoke, but it is because the smoke this person is taking also comes to you. You are a passive smoker. So this cigarette smoke contains nicotine, contains tar, contains carbon monoxide. You are also smoking all those. We also talked about burning of tires and plastics. How do you dispose these tires and plastics at home? If you burn them, then you must be polluting the environment because they produce too much smoke. The smoke that goes into the atmosphere contains carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. We have got vehicle exhaust fumes. There are some vehicles that produce too much smoke. Too much smoke. So these are pollutants in the environment. We also have agricultural chemicals, the ones that are sprayed. Remember, they are chemicals and they are poisonous. We also talked about aerosol sprays, those perfumes that you like snatching from your sisters. They are pollutants. They pollute the environment. The perfumes, the doom, and everything else, these are pollutants. They are known as aerosol sprays. We say that they destroy the ozone layer. The ozone layer is a blanket of gases that covers the earth so that we don't get burnt by the sun. If the ozone layer is depleted, you end up realizing that the sun will be too hot, that even when you place a maize outside, the maize becomes roasted